Hello fellow collectors, Frank MTTM here, back with another TTM Success video. TTM stands for Through the Mail. I get some Through the Mail success autographs. I got autographs through the mail here. Got 4 to share today, getting back in the groove of TTM videos and TTM requests and so on and so forth. So I'm going to share these one today. So let's get at it here. First we have a 1-for-1 in 45 days, no fee. This is out of Canada, out of Quebec, Canada. We have Mr. Galley. This is on the sports action card for the set I'm working on. This the Bruins Sport Action set. So thank you so much, Mr. Galley. Looking nice there. Cool sweeping signature, blue signature there. Yeah, GG. Galley. Let's learn a little bit more about Mr. Galley.
Gary Michael Galley was born on April 16, 1963 in Greenfield Park, Quebec, Canada, on the shores of Montreal. He grew up in Ottawa, Ontario, and attended college at Bowling Green State University in Ohio. Playing for the Bowling Green Falcons, he was one of the top collegiate players during his 3 years there from 1981 to 84, being named to the CCHA First All-Star Team and was a NCAA All-American in 1984. He still holds school records for points and assists by defensemen. A 6-foot-tall left-handed shooting defenseman, Galley was drafted by the Los Angeles Kings in the 5th round, 100th pick overall of the 1983 NHL entry draft. The 21-year-old Galley made his NHL debut during the season opener with the Kings on October 11, 1984 at the Great Western Forum in Los Angeles, getting his first NHL assist in a 2-2 tie against the Edmonton Oilers. The next game, on the 13th, he got his first goal in the second period of a 6-5 home loss to the Vancouver Canucks. In all, Galley played 17 seasons in the NHL 1984 to 2001 with 6 teams: the Kings, 2 stints, Washington Capitals, Boston Bruins, Philadelphia Flyers, Buffalo Sabres, and New York Islanders. A 2-time All-Star in 1991 and 1994, Galley scored 125 career goals with 475 assists for 600 points in 1,149 games. One of his biggest career highlights came with the Bruins in Game 2 of the 1990 playoffs division final series against the Montreal Canadiens. Galley scored the game-winning goal in overtime, giving the Bruins a 2-0 lead in the series. At the time, the goal was compared to Bobby Orr's famous cup-clinching goal in 1970. The Bruins went on to win the series 4-1 and made it all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals against Edmonton Oilers, though they lost in 5 games. Galley also played for Canada at the 1993 Men's World Championship in Munich, where the Canadian squad placed 4th under head coach Mike Keenan, and he won silver in the 1996 Men's World Championship under head coach Tom Reaney. Following his playing career, Galley has pursued a career in broadcasting. Currently, he's a color commentator with CBC's Hockey Night in Canada.
Next in the box here, we got a 1-for-1 in 14 days, no fee. This is out of El Paso, Texas, Rio Grande District. We have Mr. Get in there. This is Mr. Bake Turner. Alright, and this is on the, let's see, the 70 or 71 tops. And he did answer a few questions, which I will be getting to right now, actually. Let's see what he had to answer. Looking sweet and ballpoint pen here. I love when these old school guys do the ballpoint. And let's see how he answered the questions. We'll get to a little bit more of a bio. I asked Mr. Turner, who was your favorite quarterback to play with? That's Babe Pirelli. Babe Pirelli was a quarterback with the Patriots and the Jets in the 1960s. He played with the Jets in the late 60s, so they would have played together then. What was your most memorable catch? All of them were. And what do you like to do for hobbies? And he likes to golf. So let's learn a little bit more about Mr. Turner, Mr. Big Turner.
Robert Hardy Bake Turner was born on July 22, 1940 in Alpine, Texas. As a kid, his mom called him Bobby, but everybody else called him Bacon because of his fondness for it. The nickname got shortened to Bacon, and eventually even his mom got used to it. Listed at 6'1", 179 pounds during his playing days, Bake Turner was a wide receiver that played 9 seasons in the NFL, AFL, 1962-70 with the Baltimore Colts, New York Jets, and Boston Patriots. He was drafted in the 12th round, 163rd overall in the 1962 NFL draft by the Baltimore Colts out of Texas Tech, where he was a halfback, making all-conference in 1961 and 62, and obtaining the school's passing and receiving record. In his rookie season with the Colts in 62, Bake was used primarily as a return specialist, playing for future Hall of Fame coach Weeb Ewbeck. He followed Ewbeck when he took the New York Jets head coach job in 63. Bake made an promised debut with the Jets in 63, returning the open kickoff of a preseason game against Boston, 95 yards for a touchdown. 1963 and 1964 were Bake's finest seasons. Bake was the third leading pass receiver in the AFL for the Jets in 63, making a career-high 71 receptions for 1,009 yards with 6 touchdowns. He was selected as team MVP into the AFL All-Star Game in that year. He was the 6th leading pass receiver in 64, catching 58 receptions for 974 yards with a career-high 9 touchdowns. In 1968, Bake was part of the Super Bowl III champion Jets team, helmed by future Hall of Fame quarterback Joe Namath and coached by Weeb Ewbeck. He caught 10 passes for 241 yards, returned 14 kicks for 319 yards. He was traded to the Boston Patriots after the 1969 season, where he spent his final season in 1970. For his career, Bake had 220 receptions for 3,541 yards and 25 touchdowns in 118 career games. He averaged 16.1 yards per reception. Bake Turner also has some success as a country and western singer. He has cut several records and recorded the song Is Anybody Going to San Antone in the 1960s, a year before Charlie Pride turned into a hit. He is also on one of Miller Beer's If You Got the Time jingles. He was the lead singer of the Ford Jets in a commercial for Score Hair Cream.
Next in the box is a 2 for 2 in 12 days out of Montgomery, Alabama. No fee. We have Mr. Tom Neville on this. I want to say that's a 72. I'm not sure what year that is. On the blue ink, and this 74, I believe. Tops. Looking sweet here. Thank you, Mr. Neville. I do appreciate it. And let's learn a bit more about Mr. Neville.
Thomas Oliver Neville Jr. was born on August 12, 1943, in Montgomery, Alabama. During his senior year at Sidney Lanier High School in Montgomery, Neville didn't even know if he wanted to play football until a chance encounter at a gas station in Mississippi led him to an opportunity. A recruiter from Mississippi State happened to be there at the gas station when Neville pulled in, and recognizing him, the recruiter asked him if he was playing for Alabama. When he said no, he had not been recruited, he asked Neville, "How would you like to play for Mississippi State?" 2 weeks later, Neville was practicing with the Bulldogs in Starksville, Mississippi. At Mississippi State, Neville, a offensive tackle, became a second-team All-American and 2-time All-SEC selection for the Bulldogs. Listed at 6'4", 260 pounds during his playing days, Neville was drafted in the 7th round by the Boston Patriots in the 1965 AFL Draft, and the 9th round by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 1965 NFL Draft. The Steelers offered a high-end signing bonus, but he chose to sign with the Patriots because the Steelers recruiter was, in his words, a total jerk. Calling the Patriots family, he played most of his career with them. However, he almost never played for them after signing. Driving all the way from Montgomery to Boston in his Chevrolet, he failed the team physical when he arrived, due to a knee injury that he suffered at Mississippi State. Apparently, the Patriots told him to go home, but he refused after driving all that way, in order to start and spot at right tackle for the 1965 season. Neville played 15 seasons in the AFL NFL, mostly with the Boston, later New England Patriots. He played his final 2 seasons with the Denver Broncos and New York Jets. a 1966 AFL All-Star. Later in his career, he served as a mentor for future Hall of Fame lineman John Hannay. He played 190 career games on the offensive line, 149 of them starts. Neville was named to the Patriots' 35th anniversary team in 1994 and is in the Alabama and Mississippi Sports Hall of Fames. While living in Boston, he started collecting old pocket watches. The hobby led him to pursuing a career in gemology after his playing career. He earned a degree from the Gemological Institute of America in Santa Monica, California in 1983. He has run a jewelry and watch store called The Source in his hometown of Montgomery since 1983.
Last of the box here, we have a 1-for-1 in 8 days, no fee out of South Maine. We have Mr. Peter Darice. And he did answer a few questions. Get to in a moment. So, look a nice black ink there with the personalization. Best of luck, Peter Darice, for the set. And he did answer a few questions, which I'll get to right now. Who's your favorite Bruins teammate? The great Hall of Famer Ray Bourque. What was it like? So you'll learn a little bit more about in the bio. What was it like to sweep the Canadiens in 1992 playoffs? So he had a big goal in that series in overtime, and they swept the Canadiens, the big rivals of the Bruins. It was a complete thrill, one of the highlights of my career. And I was really interested if sometimes I'm interested if these guys keep the memorabilia from those games, and I asked them, dude, keep the puck from your game-winning overtime goal in Game 2? Yes, I have it mounted. Bobby Carpenter had it mounted and gave it to me as a gift. It hangs in my rec room, so that's so cool. That must be pretty cool. So thank you so much, Mr. Darice. I do appreciate it. That was a big thrill of your career. Let's learn a little bit more about that big thrill of his career and about Mr. Darice.
Peter W. Darice was born on February 19, 1966 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. As a youth, he played in the 1979 Quebec International Pee Wee Hockey Tournament with the minor hockey team for Don Mills in the North York District of Toronto. Darice was drafted by the Winnipeg Jets in the second round, 30th pick overall of the 1984 NHL entry draft after his freshman season at the University of New Hampshire. He left college hockey after his sophomore year to join the Canadian national team in 1985-86. A 6'1" right-handed shooting right wing, Darice played during 11 seasons 1985-98 in the NHL with the Winnipeg Jets, Boston Bruins, Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, and one game with the Dallas Stars. After 3 seasons of limited playing time with the Winnipeg Jets, he was traded to the St. Louis Blues in 1988, but played the season with the Blues' IHL affiliate, Peoria Rivermen. Darice signed with the Boston Bruins for the 1989-90 season as an unrestricted free agent, where he got his first chance for consistent playing time in the NHL. Playing 36 games during the 1989-90 season and 8 during the postseason, he helped the Bruins reach the Stanley Cup Finals. In the 1992 playoffs, Darice scored the game-winning goal in overtime for the Bruins in Game 2 of the Division Finals against the Bruins' biggest rival, the Montreal Canadiens, at the Forum in Montreal en route to a 4-game sweep. It was the first time that Boston had won an overtime playoff game at the Forum since 1943. In 321 career games, Darice scored 54 goals and had 67 assists for 121 points. He had career highs 12 goals and 22 assists with the Mighty Ducks during the 1993-94 season. In 27 career playoff games, 26 of them with the Bruins, he had 3 goals and 5 assists.
So I want to thank here Mr. Galley. Do appreciate it. Mr. Bake Turner, Mr. Tom Neville, and Mr. Peter Darice. Awesome autographs. I do appreciate you all taking your time to watch this video, and all these signers taking their time to sign my cards and writing out the questions too. And hope you all having a good week. Well, I'm going to leave it at that as I get back in the groove here. Took a little break from doing some TTM video. I did a few, but shorter ones, and we got a little bit more to share. I got a stack right here, which I'm going to be getting to soon, and I got a few more in the box. So expect some more TTM Success videos in the near future. Well, you all have a great day. Take care. God bless. Peace.